Hello viewers, welcome to CodeForAny. Fruit markets apps inside today need to integrate here the socket manager class need to develop here. First of all, need this here the socket IO clients library need to import here. Now need to import inside the package. Now need to open here the space already here and to use this package here the socket IO clients. Now we need to go inside here the install tabs and we need to copy this here the this dependency and we need to put here's like here's and now need to save here's now need to go inside here the commons and we need to import this here the this package and to create here the singletons class. Now need to create here the new files and we need to give this here the name socket manager get manager dot dots like this creates here. Now we need to create here the class to write down here the socket managers. Like we need to create series now need to write down here the static final and we need to create here the socket managers single stone class we need to develop here is equal to need to call this here the socket manager dots need to call this here the internal methods we need to call here and we need to develop here. Now socket managers dots need to create here the internals like we need to create. Then after we need to write down here the IO dot client socket. I need to import here. First of all, the IO need to write down here. Imports package and we need to write down here the socket IO client dot socket clients as we need to set here IO like here and we need to create here the socket question marks like this we need to creating here and we need to set here is equal to need to write down here the socket like here. Then after create here the static socket managers dot get share is equal to single stones need to pass here objects like here. Now need to void dot init socket methods need to creating here and to configure this here the socket like here. Now need to write down here the socket is equal to need to create here the IO dots need to call here IO like here's and we need to create here the globals inside the API URLs we need to develop here. Now need to create here the class svk and we need to write down here the static members we need to develop here static const and we need to write down here the main URLs is equal to set here the blank and static URL. Now we need to set this here. If you use inside the iOS, then to use here the localhost in simulators for need to use here. If you use here the real device, then to give this here the Node.js servers local IP you need to set here and then after need to use this here the API. Now another API need to make this here the const Node.js URL like here is equal to need to give this here the main URLs like this configures here. Now use this node URLs inside this class. We need to set here the sv key dot main not main need to node.js URLs need to put here and now need to configure this here the transport layers also need to configure say WebSockets and auto connects also need to set here the true These two configurations need to most important for these connections of the sockets. Like this, you need to write down here and to set and create here the socket objects. Like here's now need to write down here the socket dot on events. You need to listen here. Use this here the events as a connect. Like here's and we need to call this here the handlers data, and we need to get this data here semicolons like this. And if here debugs a dot debug mode, then we need to write down here the print into sort here the socket connect done semicolons like this sets here. And we need to create here the image methods. We need to call here for the logins. If you update sockets API, you need to call that one to write down here the logics. Now here we need to another methods we need to write down here, copy here, and we need to paste this here. Now need to set here the socket connection errors. We need to returning this here, and we need to set here the error like here. Then after another methods we need to get here the errors only, and we need to socket errors like here. Again, so we need to copy paste this here, and we need to print here the data like here. So we need to set this here. Same as we need to create here the disconnect socket disconnect like this here. And last one methods we need to develop here, socket dot on methods. We need to set this here the update socket, and we need to set like this here, set here the data like this. Now we need to write down here the futures functions. We need to develop here for this methods. We need to create here the, and now we need to develop this here the last methods, futures update socket API, and call since methods like here's, and you need to write down here the try catch like need to set here's if debugs, then need to print here's the error logs to string like here's need to getting this here the errors like this. Need to write down here socket dot need to calls here the emit methods for the calling here the event update socket like here's. Now we need to write down here the JSON encodes, and we need to pass this here the object as a need to needs here the parameters access token and service calls dots. We need to pass this here the user object auth underscore tokens and to string like this. Need to write down some semicolons these functions like we need to setting for this data, and we need to get like this connections. Now we need to set here the one conditions we need to put here. If here user are the logins, then we need to call this here the update socket API. Otherwise you need to not calls like this. You need to write down here the to do user are logged, then calls means here need to check here the globes dots. Need to calls here the UD wells. Need to write down here the not here functions Now we need to commit these codes because we need to API call times you need to configure this years. If you like this video, please give the thumbs up. If you're new user, so please subscribe my channels and press the notification bell icon. You can get every new video notifications and awesome content. If you have any questions, so please write down the comment sections. I will help you and sort out your issue. Everyone have a nice day. Goodbye and take care.